Good morning, children. Hearty welcome to all of you for today's session. Hope you all are doing good. Okay, come let's learn English. Here is your English teacher, Jyothimal. Right. Today, in this session, I will be discussing the first part of the lesson 6, the 100 dresses, part 2. As we know, it's a continuation of the previous lesson. We have discussed a small portion in our last class. Now, I'm going to give you a brief summary of the portion that we discussed in our last class. As we know, the lesson begins with all the students of room number 13 having a look at the wonderful drawings of Wanda Petronsky. All the students of room number 13, they were having a look at the wonderful drawings of Wanda Petronsky. By that time, Miss Mason received a note from the principal's office. She read it several times. It was a letter from Wanda Petronsky's father. She could not believe what was written in it. Then she clapped her hands to get the attention of the children. The classroom became quiet. There was complete silence in the room. Miss Mason adjusted her spectacles slowly and deliberately. Her manner indicated that it was a matter of great importance. So everybody listened carefully. Miss Mason read the letter loudly. Wanda's father conveyed his intention of not sending his children to school anymore. They were shifting to another city, a big one, where no one would care about their strange names. After hearing the letter, everyone was left speechless. They were stunned to hear the words of Wanda's father. They were shocked to hear the words of Wanda's father. Miss Mason conveyed her disappointment to the class. She spoke to the class in a low voice. She didn't scold her children. Actually, she was unhappy and upset with the class. Yet, she asked her children to make sure that nothing went wrong purposely and deliberately to hurt Wanda. Whatever happened was sad and unfortunate. It should not be repeated. So she advised her students to think about it. What they had done was good or not. Okay. Then, in the first period, Maddie could not concentrate on her studies. She felt guilty because she could not stop Peggy at the right time. Actually, Maddie never teased Wanda, never enjoyed the dress game that Peggy had done. Yet, she realized that she was as equal as Peggy to hurt the feelings of Wanda. She stood silent, which made her a coward for not standing against what's wrong. Since both of them, Maddie and Wanda, were poor, she could have put herself in Wanda's shoes. She could have realized or she could have understood the real problems of Wanda. But she didn't do anything for Wanda. That's her mental agony. Okay, children, this is the summary of the portion that we discussed in our last class. I hope it's clear to you now. Okay, so let's move on to the new portion. Let me read the paragraph. Goodness, wasn't there anything she could do? If only she could tell Wanda she hadn't meant to hurt her feelings. She turned around and stole a glance at Peggy. But Peggy did not look up. She seemed to be studying hard. Well, whether Peggy felt badly or not, she, Maddie, had to do something. She had to find Wanda Petronsky. Maybe she had not yet moved away. Maybe Peggy would climb the heights with her, and they would tell Wanda she had won the contest, that they thought that she was smart and the 100 dresses were beautiful. Okay, children, and let's see the explanation. In this paragraph also, we can listen the inner thoughts of Maddie. In this paragraph also, we can listen or we can realize the inner thoughts of Maddie. Maddie really wished for a chance to apologize. She wanted to say sorry to Wanda. She turned around and looked at Peggy secretly, but she seemed to be studying hard. She seemed to be studying hard. So, Maddie decided to do something. Whether Peggy felt badly or not, she would not consider anything about Peggy. She had to find Wanda. Maddie, she had to find Wanda, hoped that Wanda hadn't yet moved away. Maddie wished Peggy's presence too in Boggins Heights to tell Wanda that she had won the contest. She also wanted to say that Wanda was smart and the 100 dresses were beautiful, were superb. Hope you understood the portion, children. Let's move on to the next paragraph. When school was dismissed in the afternoon, Peggy said with a pretended casualness, "Hey, let's go and see if that kid has left town or not." So Peggy had the same idea. Maddie glowed. Peggy was really all right. The two girls hurried out of the building up the street toward Boggins Heights, the part of town that wore such a forbidding air on this kind of a November afternoon, drizzly, damp, and dismal. Okay, children, see. So that day, after school hours, Peggy asked Wanda, "Hey, Maddie, let's go to Boggins Heights and see whether she has left the town or not." So, what happened then, children? When school was dismissed in the afternoon, Peggy said with a pretended casualness. What do you mean by pretended casualness? Pretended casualness means to show indifference. To show indifference. So, actually, Peggy also had the guilty feeling in her mind. Actually, Peggy also had the same guilty feelings in her mind like Maddie. But she tried to make herself happy and comfortable before Maddie. She pretended that she was happy. So, in order to show indifference, she pretended before Maddie that she was happy and comfortable. Okay. Then, she was satisfied. Who was satisfied? Maddie. Maddie glowed. So Peggy had the same idea. Maddie glowed. Maddie, she was also happy. She was satisfied at the thought that both of them, both Peggy and Maddie, had the same plan of apology. So both of them hurried to Boggins Heights. So during this season, as I told you, the speciality of Boggins Heights. So during this season, it's a November afternoon. The place was wet and damp. It was drizzling. The area was damp and dismal. What's the meaning of damp and dismal? Wet and sad. Here, expressing a state of hopelessness. So it shows an atmosphere of sadness and hopelessness. Next paragraph. "Well, at least," said Peggy gruffly, "I never did call her a foreigner or make fun of her name. I never thought she had the sense to know we were making fun of her anyway. I thought she was too dumb. And gee, look how she can draw." Maddie could see nothing. All she hoped was that they would find Wanda. She wanted to tell her that they were sorry they had picked on her and how wonderful the whole school thought she was. And please not to move away and everybody would be nice. She and Peggy would fight anybody who was not nice. The two girls hurried on. They hoped to get to the top of the hill before dark. Okay, children, let's see the explanation. On their way to Boggins Heights, Peggy tried to comfort herself by saying that she didn't call her a foreigner or she didn't make fun of her name, because Wanda's father mentioned in the letter that his children, they had been teased because of their unfamiliar, weird name, strange name. So Peggy again and again made herself believe that she hadn't done anything wrong. to hurt Wanda. She just made fun of her. She just played a dress game. She was a stupid girl. She didn't realize that they were making fun of her. And gee, look how she can draw. What's the meaning of G, children? It's a mild expression of surprise, not a G. G. It's a mild expression of surprise. So actually, she was a great artist. So Peggy also admitted that Wanda Petronsky was a great artist. So the two girls, what did they do? Maddie. Maddie could say nothing. So what she was doing there, children? Maddie, on the other hand, she could not say a word. She could say nothing. She didn't say anything to Peggy. She just wanted to find Wanda and apologize her for being made fun of her. So what did she want? Maddie wanted to say. Oh, first of all, she wanted to find Wanda and apologize her for being made fun of her. She really wanted to convey something to Wanda. She really wanted to convey something to Wanda. So, what did she want to convey? She wanted to say that Wanda was a wonderful artist. She wanted to say that the whole school realized that she was a wonderful artist. Then, moreover, she would like to request her not to move away. She wanted to make sure that everybody would be nice with her. Moreover, she wanted to tell her that she and Peggy would fight for her if anybody tried to trouble her in any way. Hope you understood the portion, children. So, the two girls hurried on. The two girls hurried in order to reach the place before night, because in the afternoon, after the school hours, they started their journey to Bogenside. So they hurried in order to reach the place before dark. I think that's where the Petronskis live, said Maddie, pointing to a little white house. Wisp of old grass stuck up here and there along the pathway like thin kittens. The house and its sparse little yard looked shabby but clean. It reminded Maddie of Wanda's one dress, her faded blue cotton dress, shabby but clean. There was not a sign of life about the house. Peggy knocked firmly on the door, but there was no answer. She and Maddie went around to the backyard and knocked there. Still, there was no answer. So, the two girls, they hurried in order to reach the place before night. At last, they reached the place. Maddie pointed to a little white house and said, I think that's the place where the Petronskis live. Okay, so Maddie pointing to a little white house. Wisps of old grass stuck up here and there along the pathway like a thin kittens. What's the meaning of that sentence, children? Wisp of old grass. Wisp of old grass means a small bunch or a small bundle of grass. So, what's the meaning of that sentence? A small bunch or a small bundle of grass stuck up here and there along the path. So, these thin branches of grass grew along the path that led to the house. They resembled thin kittens. Hope you understood the meaning of wisp of old grass. Once again, children. Wisp of old grass means a small bunch of grass or a small bundle of grass. Okay, a small bundle of grass or a small bunch of grass stuck up here and there along the pathway. So thin branches of grass grew along the path that led to the little white house of the Petronskis. So they resembled that little or the small bundle of grass resembled thin kittens. Hope you understood the portion. So next, the house and its sparse little yard looked shabby but clean. What's the condition of the house, children? The house and its surroundings were shabby but clean, just like a Wanda's dress. Do you remember Wanda's dress? Yes, her faded blue cotton dress. It was also shabby but clean. Then there was not a sign of life about the house. What's the meaning of the sentence, children? There was not a sign of life about the house. No one could be seen around the house. They knocked both at the front and backyard doors. Still, there was no answer. There was no doubt about it. The Petronskis were gone. How could they ever make amends? They turned slowly and made their way back down the hill. Well, anyway, said Piggy, she has gone now, so what can we do? Besides, when I was asking her about all her dresses, she probably was getting good ideas for her drawings. She might not even have won the contest otherwise. Yes, there was no doubt about it. The Petronskis had gone. How could they make their amends? Yes, they had gone. What's the meaning of amends, children? Make amends means to show that one is sorry by doing something good. To show that one is sorry. One is sorry by doing something good. So they asked, there was no doubt about it. The Petronskis were gone. So how could they ever make amends? Or how could they show? Or how could they apologize to Wanda? They had gone. So Piggy and Maddie's last chance to say sorry to Wanda also had gone. Did you get the sentence, children? Peggy and Maddie's last chance to say sorry to Wanda also had gone. The Petronskis had gone, and at the same time, their last chance, Peggy and Maddie's last chance to say sorry to Wanda also had gone. So the children, they turned slowly and made their way back home in a disappointment. So what's the reason, children? How could they ever make amends? How could they ever make amends? So they turned slowly and at the same time sadly made their way back home. So next paragraph. In order to comfort herself, Peggy again started to say. So Peggy, she wanted to convince her mind. She wanted to convince her conscience that she hadn't done anything wrong. So she continued, yes, she has gone now. So what can we do? One thing is very clear to me. I'm very sure about it. My dress game, it actually inspired her to draw 100 designs. Did you get the word, children? What she was trying to say? She tried to convince her conscience that she hadn't done anything wrong. So again she started. What did she say? Listen. Yes, she has gone. Wanda Petronsky has gone. What can we do? But one thing is very clear to me. I'm very sure about it. My dress game, it actually inspired her to draw 100 designs. 100 marvelous designs. Otherwise, she would never won the contest. Did you get the paragraph, children? That's the content of that portion. Let's move on to the next one. Listen. Maddie turned this idea carefully over in her head, for if there were anything in it, she would not have to feel so badly. But that night, she could not get to sleep. She thought about Wanda and her faded blue dress and the little house she had lived in. And she thought of the glowing picture those 100 dresses made, all lined up in the classroom. At last, Maddie sat up in bed and pressed her forehead tight in her hands and really thought. This was the hardest thinking she had ever done. After a long time, she reached an important conclusion. She was never going to stand by and say nothing again. Okay, children, let's see the explanation. Maddie didn't give any reply to Peggy. So what did she say? Peggy said, she has gone. What can we do? One thing is very clear. I'm very sure about it. My dress game actually inspired her to draw 100 designs. Otherwise, she would never won the contest. So Maddie, did she give any reply, children? No. She didn't give any reply to Peggy. Yet, she agreed to Peggy. She also tried to convince her conscience, or she also tried to convince her mind that they were not wrong. They just supported her to win the contest. They just supported her to win the contest. If Peggy hadn't done that, she would have never won the competition. Okay, but that night, Maddie could not sleep as she was thinking about Wanda, her faded blue dress, and the little white house. She thought about the glowing pictures. She thought about the glorious pictures lined up in the classroom. Finally, she sat up in bed and started thinking deeply. She pressed her forehead tightly. Yes, this was the deepest thinking she had ever done. She was really trying to concentrate on something. So it reveals that she was really trying to concentrate. Sorry, children. It reveals that she was really trying to concentrate on something. Okay, so after thinking so deeply, after a long time, she came to a decision. Have you seen the last sentence, children? She was never going to stand by and say nothing again. What's the meaning of that sentence, children? She was never going to stand by and say nothing again. Yes, she decided to stand against her wrong deeds. She would speak up against injustice. That is what is the conclusion. She reached an important conclusion. She was never going to stand by and say nothing again. She decided to stand against wrong deeds. She would speak up against injustice. So she took the decision. If she ever heard anybody picking on someone because they were funny looking or because they had strange names, she would speak up. Even if it meant losing Peggy's friendship, she had no way of making things right with Wanda. But from now on, she would never make anybody else that unhappy again. So, listen, children. She took the decision. What decision? It's a firm decision that she would never let anyone make fun of others. That she would never let anyone make fun of others because of their appearance or their home or their name or their clothes. Even if it's Peggy, she would not consider it as a true friendship. So she would not bother about losing Peggy's friendship. So she took a firm decision that she would never let anyone make fun of others. Even if it's Peggy, she would not bother about losing her friendship. She would not consider it as a true friendship. So she would not bother about losing Peggy's friendship because she could not say sorry to Wanda. Why? What's the reason, children? She has gone. Wanda Petronsky had gone. So Peggy and Maddie, both of them, they could not say sorry to Wanda. It's gone. But from now onwards, she was never going to let another person feel embarrassed or unhappy again. So now onwards, Maddie took the decision that now onwards, she was never going to let another person feel embarrassed or unhappy again. Children, let's wind up today's class. 2-3 pages are there. It will be discussed in our next class. In our next class, we will complete the lesson. Children, if you have any doubt regarding today's portion, you can call me at any time. Read the lesson carefully and do the assignment. Then, those who didn't submit last week's notes, send it as early as possible, children. There is a piece of information. Next week onwards, you will get 2 classes for English on every Tuesday and Saturday. Okay, so be careful. Try to write the notes daily and read the textbook every day. Okay, children, read the textbook thoroughly. Otherwise, you will not be able to answer the questions. Your presentation will not be good enough. Okay, so read the lesson. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.